Hi Charlie, welcome to the 67th day of my video polling experiment where I break down and analyze the LinkedIn poll that I posted last week and that closed this morning. Now last week's poll question was, is now a good time to buy stocks? There were 3 answer choices, yes, no, and I'm not sure. Now the reason I asked this question is because I've been hearing a lot of news about how in the aftermath of this market decline that we've experienced over the past few years, either there's a recession coming right around the corner, or it's just a correction and you should be buying the dip and waiting for stock prices to climb back up again. I've heard various different perspectives on the issue, so I just wanted to see what my voters were thinking. And much to my delight, 87 voters chose to answer this poll, which is right in line with my average of about 80 to 85 votes per poll. 53% of these 87 voters said yes, now is a good time to buy stocks. 18% of them said no, now is not a good time to buy stocks, and 29% of them, including myself, were honest enough to say, I'm not sure if now is a good time to buy stocks. I mean, we love people admitting when they don't know something and being incentivized to investigate credible, trustworthy sources and come to their own conclusions. So anyway, onto some statistics about how the market has been doing the past couple of weeks and how it relates to historical trends in the stock market. 2 weeks ago, the S&P 500 fell over 10% from its all-time high. This is known as a market correction, which is when the market declines 10 to 20% from its all-time high. However, a full-blown bear market, the one that signals a recession, requires a 20% or more decline. Since 1950, the S&P 500 has experienced a 10% or more pullback 42 times. So this correction that we've experienced in the past few weeks is nothing particularly new. The S&P 500 has ended the year lower than it began 16 times in the past 75 years. It's an unfortunate occurrence, but one that unfortunately happens when you're investing in something as volatile and risky as the stock market. The average intra-year market drop has been 14% over the past 75 years, which sounds kind of brutal when you're experiencing it firsthand and you're literally watching your stock portfolio hemorrhage value. But if you consider the long-term implications of this, it's that overall the market does trend upward. You just have to kind of ride out those declines and perhaps even use those declines as an opportunity to purchase securities, quality securities, of course, at more affordable, relatively speaking, prices. Since 1928, there have been 60 stock market corrections. Only 44% of these declines were a precursor to a recession. So basically, there is a slightly above average chance, or a 56% chance, that the correction we just experienced in the past few weeks is not a precursor to a recession. And also, we had a pretty steep market decline of about, I believe it was, yes, 19.4% just 3 years ago in 2022. And, all of the smart individuals in finance were implying that this was going to trigger some sort of massive meltdown. And, the market rebounded fairly well in the next few years. And people who took advantage of that rebound, who were buying securities in the 2022 and early 2023 period, they profited fairly handsomely. So it's just a great reminder that although market volatility can be scary, and it is very possible, there's a 44% chance, according to historical records, that we are on the cusp of a recession now that this correction has happened, there's also a 56% chance that the market is going to rebound, and we're going to be, kicking ourselves being so paranoid when the market is increasing again and we feel like maybe we lost out on the opportunity to jump into the market when prices were relatively affordable. So anyway, Charlie, just wanted to clarify, none of what I'm saying is financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor or professional, and please consult a licensed financial professional for financial advice. I'm just sharing some statistics that I found on the internet and a distribution of a poll that I posted about a week ago. So anyway, Charlie, thank you for listening, and before I go, I would like to show you the poll as it appears on LinkedIn, just to prove that I'm not making this distribution up. Here is the poll as it appears on LinkedIn. As you can see, it got 87 votes. The most popular choice, perhaps thankfully, was yes, now is a good time to buy stocks, which was selected by a bare majority, or 53% of my voters. So I appreciate that there is still some stock market optimism out there. That is an essential component of a successful turnaround back into an increasing stock market. So thank you everyone who voted on this poll. I am so grateful for everyone's contribution, and I look forward to continuing to post these polls for hundreds more days at least. Anyway, Charlie, thank you for listening to my little spiel about the stock market and buying stocks, and stay tuned tomorrow for my 68th video polling analysis. Thank you and have a wonderful day.